Hi guys, it's Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to discuss a movie that I saw on Netflix called Burning Cane. Okay, so Burning Cane is an American drama and it was written and directed by Philip Humans. I believe that he is 19 years old to date, but when he did write and direct this movie, he was about 17 years old. Now, the movie did premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival on April 25th, 2019, and then I believe it was released on Netflix around October 25th, 2019. Now, first things first, this movie was very, very low budget. The camera work was very shaky, but you know what? I'm just gonna excuse that because, hey, we all gotta start somewhere. So, anyway, the movie basically focused on four main characters. The first character was a Reverend Tillman, and then there was Helen Wayne, who was a mother, and then Daniel Wayne was her adult son, and then Daniel Wayne had a son, Jeremiah Wayne. So, what I got from this movie, the setting was, I want to say, rural area of Louisiana on a sugar cane, hence the name Burning Cane. And it was very poverty stricken. To me, it seemed to be area that they were in. And when you have poverty, obviously there's gonna be problems. So as far as Philip as the writer, I always try to see things from the writer's point of view. I try to see what the writer was trying to tell us, what he was trying to show us or explain to us. In the beginning, you see Helen Wayne. She's going on with this whole monologue and speech about her sick dog and how she's scrubbing him and he has mites and she's tying him to the cane, hoping that he gets better, and nothing is working. And it's like she has so much care and love for this dog. She's not giving up on him. She is doing whatever she has to do. Like, she is literally fighting for this dog. And like the first opening part with her talking about the dog, I was just like, okay, like, really, dog? Like, okay, like, this, what does this have to do with anything? Like, why are we going on and on about a dog? And then she's like, oh, if she calls, takes him to like the doggy hospital or whatever, they're just gonna tell her to like put him down, just shoot him, just kill him. And she don't want to do that. But then as the movie progressed and I saw the way that she interacted or communicated with her son, I was just like, wow. Like, she showed so much care towards this dog, but when it came to her talking to her own son, she was very negative and very toxic. In the end, it was really sad to see, that Helen, she has so much compassion for her dog in the very beginning of the movie. Like, she was going to bat for this dog. Like, she was not about to give up on her sick dog. However, her son was suffering from alcoholic abuse, alcoholism, or whatever you want to call it. And alcoholism is considered a disease. I feel like it is a sickness. Mentally, it's a sickness. Like, you need help, and it was sad that she didn't have that much compassion for her son. She didn't fight for her son. She didn't go tooth and nail and not give up on her son. It sounded very much like she had already given up on him in the movie, and literally she treated him worse than her dog. I don't know if that is what Philip Humans was trying to show us throughout the movie, but that's what it felt like to me. you know Her son, basically, he's killing himself. He's consuming that a big ass jar of brown liquor every day. He's damaging his liver. He's basically killing himself. So, not why not put that same energy you put into your dog at the beginning of the movie into your own son? Like, that's how I felt about it. And the relationship, therefore, I feel like she treated him worse than she treated her own dog. Literally, there was a huge disconnect between him and his mother. And usually mothers are more nurturing. They want to love you. They want to coddle you. You know what I'm saying? They want everything to be okay with you. They want you to be happy. But from the movie, it's like, I didn't see that with Helen and her son Daniel, but I saw that with Helen and her sick dog, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's that. And it's crazy because I have heard people say, my family treats me worse than a dog. My mother treats me worse than a dog. Like, tell me if you have ever heard someone say this, like that they were treated worse than a dog by family or certain family members. So I don't know. That was just a correlation I got from that. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm digging too deep. Maybe I'm doing too much. But that's what I do. As someone who is a writer or who spent her college years analyzing literature, and in my history courses, we would analyze movies and stuff. So yes, that's what I do. And I feel like I won't say a lot of black families, but I know of I can say I have a couple of male friends who have voiced to me that their mother was very toxic to them growing up. Their mothers would say stuff like, you ain't gonna be shit just like your daddy, just putting them down, talking to them very nasty, berating them, degrading them, you know what I'm saying? And when you're doing that to small boys, they're going to become men. And how do you think these men are going to grow up? Do you think they're going to be strong, resilient men who are responsible about their business? No, you're basically raising broken men. That's what you're doing. And so that's what I got from the relationship between Helen and her son Daniel. It's like, damn, like I was just watching the movie, like, what the hell? And it's like, did she have some animosity towards his dad and she's taking it out on him? Because in the movie, towards the beginning, they were at the table, kitchen table, talking, and Daniel's father was brought up, and he was saying, yeah, his father died, and she was like, yeah, your father died of AIDS. Like, very, like, nasty, like, I don't know. And she was like, because don't act like you ain't know your father was a freak. Like, what? I was like, well, damn, Helen, damn. And so throughout the course of the movie, you would see Daniel basically drinking, his problems away. And, as a millennial, both of my grandmothers, my mother's mother and my father's mother, I grew up with. My father's mother was an alcoholic. And when she used to get drunk, she would do the same thing to me, berate me. She was very, very toxic. So I'm like, is Philip trying to show how toxic, you know, black moms could be, especially when they're going through their own problems and they don't know how to, deal or cope with whatever it is that they were going through. And when they showed Daniel's house, Daniel and his woman, I don't even think they ever said her name in the movie. I didn't catch it. Like, that house was jacked up. They showed the bathroom. I was looking at the bathroom like, what in the... That was some poverty right there. That bathroom was destroyed. It was a hot ass mess. I'm looking like, oh no, not never. I can not never bathe in a bathroom that looked that crusty. Like, ew. So, through all this chaos, this toxic behavior, and this drama, the little boy Jeremiah, who is Daniel's son, he's just sitting there the whole time, just taking it all in. And it's like, when you're a kid and it's all this chaos and drama going on around you, it's like, you start to absorb that. Like, it starts to shape how you view the world as such a small person. And he was so quiet. He didn't have any siblings. So it would just be him, mostly in the house with his father, who is drinking all day, talking his shit. And the kid is trying to color. And then the dad is telling him to take hits to the bottle, the alcohol. Not even beer, but dark liquor. I'm just like, this is a hot mess. And then the pastor, his name was Reverend Tillman, even though he was a pastor, he was trying to cope with the death of his wife. And he was also drinking his problems away. He had the bottle, the whole movie he's drinking. And I think he was having a fling with Helen, who is Daniel's mother, from the context of the movie, their body language when they were together and around each other. And it's like, this pastor would be in church preaching the word of God by day and drunk by night, You know what I'm saying? Getting drunk, can't drive home. And I just feel like, as far as the black church goes, it's like, what are we going to church for? Like, I feel like this is why a lot of black people are moving away from the church and going on to other paths of spirituality or just other religions in general, because I want to say, like, as far as the black church, black people, they be down and out. They not there to really lend you a hand, you know what I'm saying? Like, the black church, it's really not that beneficial in the black community when it comes to helping people, the black people out mentally, spiritually, and really overcoming, poverty and obstacles to get black people on their feet. The pastor is a damn mess. So what do you think the people are going to be in the church? A damn mess. So I don't know if Philip was trying to, bring light to the black church with how he portrayed the black pastor in the movie. And then, he was out of work, and his mother, Helen, called him, and she's berating him on the phone about why he ain't got no job, this, that, and the third. And it was like, in my opinion, what was the point of you calling that man? You did nothing but make matters worse, in my own opinion. You didn't offer any solutions. You didn't give him any leads to where he could possibly go and find a job. You didn't give him any words of encouragement. You just put that man down, and he's already in a bad place. And as a mother, you should know, like, okay, my son is in a bad place. Maybe I shouldn't call him up with this drama or this bullshit, because it might send him even further into a bad place. But as a mother, she didn't care. She had no problems, no qualms of calling over to this man's house and talking hella shit to him, and then hanging up. And being the son that he is, he's like trying to explain to her, like, oh, I'm going to get it together. First he tried to lie, but then his mother busted him in a lie and just started going in or whatever. And so his son is in the background listening to his father be berated by his mother. And now, I know, as like a young child, like, you want to look up to your parent. You don't want to see your parent in a state there. You could already see the sadness in them, and then someone was calling them, making them feel even worse. So as a child, how do you respect your parent and they're in such a bad state mentally and physically, and basically abusing you by making you hit the bottle, making you start early, pick up their bad habits, And then his girlfriend came home, who was the mother of his child. I'm not sure if it was his girlfriend or his wife, and she's like asking him if there's any food, and he was like, you been out all day, you ain't eat? And she's like, I've been at work, like. And here it is. That's another layer to, I feel like, the storyline. It's the black woman. She has to pick up the pieces. Now she's at work all day because this man don't have a job. And so it always falls back on the black woman to pick up the pieces. And then when she gets home, even though Daniel's been home all day, she still ain't got nothing to eat. She can't even come home to a good meal. Like, what was you doing all day? you know? And then there was another scene in the movie where she comes in the kitchen and she's getting on him about him needing a job. He gets mad and throws a bottle at her. And it's like, she's just telling you need a job to help out around the house. Like, but your mother called you a day or two ago and she totally berated you and ripped you a new one and totally disrespected you. But you ain't have all that energy when your mother did that. But now that this woman who is she's basically holding you down because you would be homeless. You would be homeless if she told you to, like, just go, because obviously she's the one that's working and paying the bills. And he gets mad and throws a bottle at her. Meanwhile, the little boy Jeremiah is sitting there the whole time watching this commotion and this chaos right around him. And it's just like, now we're just passing toxic behaviors down from one generation to the next generation. Because what do you think Jeremiah is going to do when he gets older and he starts dating and he has a woman? Like, the father isn't teaching him anything, And then another scene went by, and this was the part of the movie where I wasn't really sure, like, what happened with Daniel's girlfriend or his wife. I'm not sure if that was his girlfriend or his wife, like I said earlier. It's like she just disappeared. And then when the mother, was asking, like, what the hell happened to her or whatever, where is she? He was saying, like, she had to go because she was telling him he needs to get a job and go down to the market and bring his son. Maybe he'll get some sympathy. And then his thing was, oh, next thing you know, it'll be another man up in my house and then my son will be disrespecting me. And then Helen and Reverend Tillman was talking, and he was like, well, we got to keep this a secret. It got to be a family secret, as if, I'm like, what, did he kill her? Like, that was the part of the movie where I was just like, well, what happened? Like, it was unclear, like, what happened. So if you saw Burning Man, like, I'm not sure. Did Daniel kill his girlfriend? Or, like, what happened? Like, what was that whole conversation about? And then we get to the end of the movie where Helen is taking her shower or whatever, and she's singing a song that was sang earlier in the movie in church, which is the sweet low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. That one. I think I'm saying the words right. Child, don't get me to lying. I ain't into church music like that. I don't even go to church. But she was singing that at the end of the movie, and there was a scene where all you could see was like her silhouette through like the window, and it looks like she picked up a shotgun, and then all you heard was the shotgun go off. And I'm like, did she kill herself? Like, did she take herself out? Like, like, what do you guys think? If you saw the movie or the film on Netflix, like, what do you think about the end? And it was ironic that she was singing that song, coming forth to carry me home. And then earlier in the movie, when that song was playing in the church, that scene, like, the camera it panned directly onto Reverend Tillman. And it's like, are these people just wanting to be put out of their misery? Are they just so freaking sad, like, with life and how it turned out for them, that they just wanted to be, without saying it? Is he trying to say that this is, a lot of people's reality? In reality, they just want to be free. They want to just ascend, basically, be with the Lord, to be put out of their misery because life isn't going how they expected it to go. So I don't know, that movie was so sad. It was kind of depressing on some real shit, yo. So if you want to trip a mood or something, don't watch it. Or you might have to watch some Disney or some Christmas movies afterwards, or something to up your spirit after this film. But yes, it was like, how do I explain it? Dark, melancholy, like, oh gosh. And in the film, Jeremiah, who was the young son of Daniel, he had no lines throughout the whole movie. And I'm not sure if that was symbolic of just a child being surrounded by so much chaos and so much toxicity, and adults having so much going on in their own world, that he was basically invisible. He felt invisible. Maybe he felt like he didn't have a voice, or he wouldn't be heard, or he would face some type of the same backlash from the women in his life if he spoke up like his dad, Daniel did when he spoke. His mother berated him, and then his girlfriend did the same thing to him. And there was also a part in the movie where Helen was saying that, like, I guess she was sort of happy to be watching Jeremiah finally, because his mother was basically weary of him going to his grandmother's house because, she thought he would get hurt. She wouldn't be paying attention to him enough. He might fall into a swamp, or just something tragic might happen to him. And that speaks volumes about Helen's character, for the mother, the boy's mother, not to trust his own grandmother with watching him. She's like so afraid that she's not going to be paying attention. She's like basically feeling like Helen is incompetent, looking after her son, which I probably can't blame her for the way her son turned out, Daniel. But that said a lot, and it meant that, like, Jeremiah, maybe he didn't have many interactions with his grandmother, or he didn't get to spend a lot of time with her. Maybe the mom was protecting her son from his grandmother because she knows how toxic the grandmother is and how lethal her mouth is. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was a mom and my son's grandma was on one like that, I probably would be like, you know what, son, you can't go over there either. So those are just my observations of the movie and what stood out to me, even though it was, you know, I wouldn't say, I feel like it was pretty amateur, but the topics were pretty heavy. Um, when you really read between the lines and when you really looked in, me personally, like I said, I'm a writer, so I look into everything deeper. Like, what's the deeper layer? What's the deeper meaning? Like, what is the writer trying to tell us? Okay. So that's my review. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Is there anything else in the movie that caught your attention that you think that I should have paid more attention to? Or maybe you don't agree with some of my observations. I mean, it's okay if you don't. You could disagree with me in the comments section. And yeah, share it with your friends if they've seen it and you guys have been discussing it. And I'm going to see you guys in my next YouTube video. Toodles!